Fine. So now today we are going to start a new topic, that is React JS. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to follow the flow which is given on W3 School. Uh, let me share my screen. Okay. Is my browser visible? Fine. So now let us start and let us understand. Today we'll see the introductory part of React.js and we'll see how we can install and how we can run that. Okay. So for just a minute. So what is React? React.js or React, right? So basically it's nothing but JavaScript library in simple terms for UI purpose, to create UI components. Now, right now you are learning this AngularJS, right? AngularJS is also used to create UI, and React is also used to create UI, right? And what is the difference, and why you have such different libraries? So to understand that difference, AngularJS itself is a framework. Okay, it's a big thing. Whereas React.js is just a library, like jQuery is a library. Similarly, React is a library, but jQuery is used for different purpose. React is used for different purpose. React.js mainly used for creating UI components. And when we say component, okay, can anyone tell me what is the meaning of component? What do you understand by the term called component? That is, yeah, you can say that this is logic component. This is, I mean, logic means business component. This is view component. This is model component. Fine. But what does it mean by component itself? Basically, component means it's a code which is self-sufficient and it is reusable, pluggable. You can use that code at different places wherever it is fitting, right? So one example someone has given, a button, let's say, okay, that is UI component. You can say view component. So button, once you have created that component in your framework or in your program or in your software, whatever you are developing, wherever you require button, you can simply use it. Okay, and it will work same way. So component is a self-sufficient program which can be reused. And this React, this library, React library, it is component based library where you create different components and wherever you require, you can simply use it. So that is the basic idea. So React is a tool for building UI components. Now, another interesting thing, how does React work? And it says that it creates a virtual DOM in memory. Now, this is interesting. We have learned about HTML DOM, right? That is document object model. And whatever HTML document you have, for that, there is a tree which is created and we call it DOM tree. So what React does then? So what React library does, when you use React library, it is creating one virtual DOM which is mapped on the actual DOM that you have. So what, as I told you, React is a UI component, UI library. So whatever you are going to change, you want some change in the view, in the UI part. And normally whenever we want to change something in our UI, yes, what we do, we change this HTML elements through DOM model. For an example, if you want to add some extra text box, let's say, so we use create element method on the on our document, and that is part of DOM tree, right? So what React does, whenever you, let's say you want to do the same thing using React, you are not directly working with that DOM tree of the HTML itself. React library provides one virtual DOM, and when we say virtual DOM, basically it's a piece of code. Okay, and what it does, once you change it to virtual DOM, then it will compare that changes what you have done in the virtual DOM with the actual DOM, which is there by the browser, which is created by the browser. And whatever minimum changes are required, it will do only those minimum changes. So this is the idea behind React. So instead of manipulating the browser's DOM directly, React creates a virtual DOM in memory, where it does all the necessary manipulating before making the changes in the browser DOM. So final product or the final result that you see, that is because of change in the browser DOM or the actual DOM. But React does not do it directly. It does it indirectly. First, it changes its own virtually created DOM, and then from there it will be reflected in the browser DOM. That the point is how it is useful. If at the end, if browser DOM is going to be changed, then what is the usefulness of this kind of idea, indirection? So the only idea is minimum changes will be made to the browser DOM, even if you do so many changes in the virtual DOM based on the comparison. Okay, it will compare the current snapshot of the browser DOM and virtual DOM, and then it will do the minimum changes, and it is actually faster. You will see that. So React finds out what changes have been made. So that is what here written. React only changes what needs to be changed. Okay, and changes only what needs to be changed. Okay, and little history about, if we talk about little history, React.js. So this is since March 2019. So you must have different, you may have later version than this. So you can check it online, which is the current version, current stable version for React.js. So that is not more important. And the initial release to the public was in the July 13. Actually, it was used first time in 2011 by Facebook's newsfeed feature. Okay, Facebook software engineer Jordan Walke, he created this library, React.js library. In 2011, it was used internally in the Facebook, but then it was made public in 2013. So since 2013, it is public and people are using it. Okay, one thing is possible. If we talk about setup, if you want to work with React, how you can work. So for that, you require NPM and Node.js. I hope you know what is NPM and Node.js. Is it started in the other part? Node.js? No, fine. Very soon it will be started, I guess. So Node, again, it's a library, JavaScript library, which is used to develop backend or your server programs. Now to work with React, you require Node.js installed as well as NPM installed in your machine if you want to work with React. Okay. But it is not compulsory. There is another version also. To get an overview of what React is, you can write React code directly in HTML, but not all code will work. Okay. So that is one option, but that is not a good option for us as a developer. So I'm not going through that one. Better let us understand how you can set up the environment, your machine setup, right? So that you can work with React. So these are few commands that you need to execute. First of all, as I told you, you require Node and NPM for this. So make sure that in your system, you have Node and NPM installed. Okay. And then once you have this NPM and Node, you can write this command at your terminal. NPM install -G. G flag stands for global. So global installation of a package or library called create React app. This is the name of the package. So once you install this create React app, it will install required library for React.js. It will install it in your machine. And once this is installed, now you can create React app. So one good example, I mean, simple example here given. Okay. Let's say, let us create my first React application. So what is the command to do that? Now, after this create React app is installed, once this is installed, you need to say npx create React app, my first React. This is the name of the application that you want to create. Okay. And this will take some time. Okay. It will take few minutes actually to create the new application. Depending on the architecture of your machine, it takes some time. And then you can run this application. If you directly want to run it, you just go inside this application folder that you have just created, my first React. Go inside that using cd command. And then you can simply say npm start. Inside that folder, you need to go inside that folder and you can say npm start. Okay. So this is how you can create and run your first React app. And when you run it by default, because see, when you create your React app like this, using this create React app, where it is, yeah, this one. When you use this package to create your React app, some inbuilt code is there. Okay, some format or template is already there. And if you run, it will run like this. It will run like this. Okay. Now, let us understand the structure of this application. Not here. Just a minute. Let me try. I have this node and npm in this machine from where I am taking this lecture right now, but they are very old versions. But let me try. Still, let me try. Let me try to work with that. And let us say npm install -g create React app. So let me try this command. Okay, so it has just installed that create React app. Okay, let me just show you that. I guess you cannot see my screen, right? Yeah. So let me share this one. I guess now you can see my command prompt, isn't it? Okay, fine. So I just installed. I just run this command npm install create React app, right? Of course, there are some problems related to versions because here, whatever versions are there, they are very old versions. What are you trying to say, Sainis? No, installation you need to do only once. But application creation, whenever you want to create React app, every time you need to run this command, that is npx. Yes, that is a command, npx, this one. This is every time you need to do when you want to create new application, new React application. You need to do this. So let's say create. Definitely installation is always only once. See, that fundamental is not going to change, Shanice. Whichever framework, library, whichever software you work, fundamental remains same. That in software you need to install only once. And we have done it globally. So it is available everywhere, not only for that particular project. So npx create React apps. Let's say my React app. You can see, I hope it should create here that application. And I told you that it is going to take some time, right? So that is the problem. I was thinking about it. Create React app requires node 10 or higher. And whatever node we have here in this machine, it is very old one. I can show it here. The node version is 0.12. So that is not going to work with this. And fine. These are very simple commands you can follow and you can understand it. I don't think that I need to do it here again. I need to install this every time. Fine. So I assume that you will do this installation yourself. And this is for Windows. Similarly, it works in Linux. Okay, in Mac also. The only thing is in Linux, if you are using Ubuntu, you may need to provide here, before all this installation and all this, you need to provide sudo. So whoever is using Ubuntu, they must be aware of that. Fine. So this is a simple way, the way you can create. Okay, now let's say you want to work with this code in your VS Code. Fine. So it is simple. Once you create this application, you open your application folder with VS Code and it will show you the hierarchy of the application. Okay. And if you run it from the terminal, how to run? It's simple. npm start. You just say npm start and it will start your server and it will show you this. Now, this is the default page, or you can say default code, which is there in any React app that you create using this command. Okay, that you create using this command. So it will be default, and this you need to change, or you may remove this, all this, and you can create your own application. Definitely it is simple one. Okay. Now, are you aware of this kind of syntax? You may not be, right? Have you ever used this kind of syntax in Angular maybe? Okay, fine. So let me show you this one. If you see this screen, actually there are few folders also. Okay, I'll show that when I run the application next time, because this machine is not compatible right now. So next time, before that, I'll make sure that everything is set up there, and I'll show that application also. So it says that if you want to change anything, or let's say you want to create your own components and you want to create your own UI, you can go to app.js within source folder and you can change it. Okay, you can change it. So things can be changed here. But why this? And what is the connection between, what are the, see, for example, when you use any framework, normally there are few inbuilt components, or you can say inbuilt files, right? They are always there and they have some relation, and server uses that relation to display everything, right? Now here, whenever you use React library, there are two important files. One is index.html and another is index.js. Okay. So normally this is nothing but index.js. Index.html. By default, it is index.html file which is being shown here on your browser. But this index.html internally, it is using the script which is written in index.js. Okay. It is showing that index.js, and index.js now, it's, see, If you want to write, you can write vanilla JavaScript there in index.js, and whatever you write there, it will work fine. There is no problem. But we want to use React library. Okay, and React library has some syntax that you need to learn, like JSX, that is JavaScript XML, which we are going to see very shortly. Okay, and it has its own other components to be used, and how to do that we'll see. So now here, if you see, we have something called app.js. Okay, so this app.js, basically it is used, this is used as a component by index.js. It is used by index.js, and that is why whatever you write here, that app component you can see here. For an example, in this app.js, what you have, okay, what syntax is this? What syntax is this? HTML, right? Someone has said that it is JSX, so he must be knowing about React. It looks like HTML, but it is not exactly HTML, because in HTML, do you have this attribute name, class name? What is the attribute in HTML? What is the attribute? Class, right? We have class attribute. So basically, JSX is nothing but called JavaScript XML, using which you can create HTML components in JavaScript. That is the idea of JSX. Here, what you do, you create one HTML kind of component header by providing this class name. Okay. And otherwise, you can see this is HTML. Okay. All these are basically HTML, but not pure HTML. This is JSX, or you can say HTML, which you can write inside JavaScript. Okay. So you can see this line you are getting in your output, isn't it? Edit, and then there is a code tag also. So you can see this line you can see here. So it is coming from this app.js. This is app.js, inside which you create one app class. This is nothing but plain JavaScript, isn't it? This is nothing but JavaScript, where you are creating one JavaScript class called app by extending component. And this component, it is coming from React. It is coming from React. So basically you are importing this component class from React package or React library. You also use React, though you are not directly using it here, but internally it is being used. So maybe first 2 lectures you may find it little difficult, but once you understand the code structure, then it is simple. Then after it is very simple. But you need to keep one thing in your mind, that React, it is JavaScript library, but it has its own syntax also. Few new syntax is there, like JSX is there. Again, if you want to work with React, it is not compulsory to use JSX. It is not compulsory. You can directly use React libraries. Okay. Because ultimately, when you do something like this, right? When you do something like this, you are trying to return HTML code from JavaScript function. This is JavaScript function within app class, isn't it? This is nothing but render method within app class. Okay, which returns something like HTML. And this is nothing but JSX. Okay, but if you do not want to do this way, fine, you can do it with the help of React library directly, like react.createElement and all those stuff are there. But this is easier way to do the same job. And in fact, this when this will be compiled, it is actually compiled in the code of React that I'll show you also. I'll also show that part in where this particular JSX gets compiled in React code, where internally it is using React.createElement and all those libraries. And that is why we are also importing React, though we are not directly using React here. But when you write JSX syntax, that gets converted into React.createElement and all those syntax where React is used. That is why we are importing it. Otherwise, you can see it is not directly used anywhere. Component is used directly, but React is not used. But internally it is used. That is why we need to import it. Then we have some logo and some CSS file. So you can import those things here and you can use them. Okay. So this app.js is an important JavaScript file, which you can change and accordingly it will be changing there. So let us understand this code. Okay. So what they do now is just they are changing it. What they are doing, they are replacing. Now they are showing that if you replace all this, okay, if you replace all this code by some simple code like this, okay, so your output will be changed, because whatever you have written here in app component, this is now called app component. And you can, don't forget to write this part at the end, export default app. And this app component is actually used in index.html, in index.js. It is used in index.js. Okay. So if you change that part, you can see how your output is also changed. From here, it is changed to this. So again, don't worry. I'm just trying to give you the introduction. I'm trying to make you aware about the React.js. Still, we haven't started any programming. Don't worry. If you are not understanding this part right now, it will become clear. By next lecture, you will be understanding the whole structure. Don't worry. Okay. Okay. So let us use this template tool that we have here. Now, as I told you, there are two important files. Shine is just, hold your queries for some time. I'll come to that point. I told you that there are two important files, index.js and index.html. So this is index.html right now. Okay, you can see index.html. Everything is there in head part, which is not that important when it comes to the UI, right? This head part is not important when it comes to UI. Mainly it is body. Mainly it is body, right? So you can see that this body of index.html, it simply contains one division with some ID root. And this is a default file which is created. When you create React app, this is how file will be created. This is index.html and then you have index.js. And what index.js, see, you can see there is no direct connection between index.html and index.js. Can you see? We are not using index.js here. We are not saying script element, then, SR source equal to index.js. No, we are not doing that. But they are connected. Internally, they are connected by the framework, by the library. So this index.html, by default, it is using script, that is index.js. And index.js, what it does, you can see that it is using React library. It is using React library, index.js. And what it does, it uses React and React DOM. This React DOM, it represents that virtual DOM. This React DOM represents virtual DOM that you have. Okay, and internally it works with the browser DOM. Internally it works with the browser DOM. So what we are doing here, we are creating one JavaScript variable. I hope you are still aware of this JavaScript syntax. My first element, which is nothing but a simple HTML looking, HTML like code. Okay. So first thing you need to understand, by default, JavaScript doesn't support HTML code. But here you can see I am not putting those quotation marks. There are no quotes around this H1. Can you see that? There is no quotes here. So this is not a string. This is not a string. Okay. This is JSX syntax. This is JSX syntax. JSX stands for JavaScript XML, which is supported. Okay. So this is one HTML code that you are storing here in my first element, which is JavaScript variable. And then you just simply say React DOM.render. What you want to render from your index.js, what you want to render this element. And where you want to render it, see, where you want to render it, document.get element by ID root. And where this element is, where this element is, yes, anyone, any guesses? Here. So they are connected. Index.html and index.js, they are connected. So this root element, you get it here. And in this element, you just render my first element, which is nothing but hello React with h1 tag. And that is your output. Does this make some sense to you? How they are connected? Yes, guys, are you getting this? Good. Again, there is no app.js right now. Still, it is working fine. It works. The important files are these two files, index.html and index.js. And they are connected. In index.js, you just call react dom.render, and whatever you want to render, that you need to put as a first argument. And the second argument is the document.get element by ID root. And that will be rendered here. So this will be the root element. This will be the root element of the whole UI that you are going to create. Okay. Now this is ES6. We have already learned this. React uses some ES6 concepts like constant and let variables, right? Then it is using classes because ES6 has introduced those classes, right? So that is there. If you want, you can refresh this part. How you can write class in JavaScript. We have constructor function also. You can extend some class. So we have seen all this. I hope you remember that. Do you remember classes in JavaScript, which is ES6 concept? We have discussed it in detail, right? So I'm just keeping this part right now. Now, this is interesting part that we need to understand. React render HTML. Okay, React render HTML. And that is the goal. So React's goal is in many ways to render HTML in a web page because it is library for UI component. And we have seen this React dom.render. So React renders HTML to the web page by using a function called React dom.render. If you remember this function, React dom.render, and whatever you want to render, that you need to put here as a first argument, and wherever you want to render, that you need to put as second argument. So there is a render function. So this render function takes two arguments, HTML code and HTML element. See, this is HTML code. Yes or no? This is HTML code. So you can directly put this here. Fine, it will work. HTML code. And second is, what is second? HTML element, where you want to render that. So this is the element where we want to render our code. The purpose of this function is to display the specified HTML code inside the specified HTML element. So this is the same example, I guess. Let us check. No, directly you are putting here HTML code. See, I told you that if you want, you can directly put that code. Okay. So React dom.render, it is going to render this HTML code inside this element. The HTML code in this tutorial uses JSX. As I told you, the HTML code that we are writing, it is using JSX syntax, which allows you to write HTML tags inside the JavaScript code. Again, we will learn more about this JSX. Okay. This is one example that they have used. See, another way to write the big HTML. Okay. So again, I am creating one element, but you can see this if you notice this parenthesis. Okay. Whatever, if you have HTML code which is spanning across the lines, okay, more than one line is there, then you need to wrap that code with this parenthesis. You need to put it in within this parenthesis. Then this is JSX code, which will be appropriately converted. Okay. And then this HTML code you can render. And that's why you can see here. See why name is in bold, because it is TH. I hope you know that in table within TR, if you use TH, it's a header, and that's why it is in bold. Are you getting this? Yes. Then we talk about this root node. We have already talk about this root node, right? That is here in index.html. So the root node is the HTML element where you want to display the result. It is like a container or content managed by React. It does not have to be division. Okay. And it does not have to have this ID root. So this is not compulsory. This is not compulsory that this should be division only. It can be any type of your HTML tag. And this ID, again, it is not compulsory to have root. Why? Because ultimately we are calling it like this, document.get element by ID. If I change this root here and I say ABC, I just need to call here ABC. That's it. And it can be any HTML element. It can be any HTML, suitable HTML element. Okay. So for example, here they have given this example. You can see that. Harsh, what is your question? Which DOM manipulator you are talking about? Please emphasize on your question so that I understand. Elaborate on that. Yeah, that is there. See, that is there. Yeah, you can use it. It is ultimately, basically, what is your goal? You just want to get that element. That's it. The way you want to, but remember one thing, when you say get elements by tag name, there can be multiple, right? There can be multiple elements, but he require only one element where you can render this. Okay. That is logical. So, okay, what we were discussing. Yeah, it may not be division, it may not be ID with root. So you can see here, instead of division, I am using header. Okay. And it has some ID called Sandy. Fine. So it can be anything basically. Whatever is suitable, you can use that. Does this make sense to you, all of you? Okay. Any question up to this point before we start little details about JSX? Okay. So what is JSX? Now let us understand a little bit about JSX. JSX stands for JavaScript XML, as I already mentioned. It allows us to write HTML in React. This is more important. It allows us to write HTML in React. But as I mentioned before, it is not compulsory to use JSX syntax to create React app. It is not compulsory, but it is preferable because it makes your job easy. It makes easier to write and add HTML in React. Okay. So JSX allows us to write HTML elements in JavaScript and place them in the DOM without any such things. Create element, append child. If you want to use, you can use vanilla JavaScript. But in that case, you need to do all this JavaScript functions. The ultimate purpose of React is to to make your JavaScript code easy. That is the ultimate purpose of any of this framework and libraries, right? You need not to write so much lengthy vanilla JavaScript code. And that is the purpose. So JSX converts HTML tags into React elements. I told you, JSX syntax, if you use whatever HTML tags you will write, it will convert into React elements. So this is the point. You are not required to use JSX, but JSX makes it easier to write React application. And this is the punchline, you can say. So let us understand same thing, okay, with this example. Now, This is, I guess, without JSX. First example. Am I audible? Hello? Am I audible? Okay, fine. So you can see here, this is the code that we have already seen, right? Something that you want to write using JSX, and then it will be used like this. But if you do not want to use JSX, how you can do it? The same thing. The same thing, how you can do it. Now, instead of directly putting that HTML tag, you need to write react.create element, and then whatever syntax is there, you need to follow it. Whatever syntax is there that you need to, like, I want to use h1 tag and the content should be this. I don't know what is this parenthesis stands for because I haven't seen this detail of create element method. If you want to use that syntax, you can go through that, you understand that syntax and you can use it. This is react.create element. Okay, this is not create element that is directly from JavaScript. Okay, that we used with the DOM. That is not that create element. This is the method from React. Okay, so either you use this kind of stuff or you directly use JSX. So definitely this is simpler. Why would I go for this version, right? And this is just one thing that you need to do. Okay, just think if you have multiple lines like that table, I guess we have that table here, right? If you want to convert this part, so it will become little clumsy if you use react.create element. So definitely this makes our job easy to use JSX rather than using react.create element and all those. So as you can see in the first example, JSX allows us to write HTML directly within the JavaScript code. JSX is an extension of the JavaScript language based on ES6. Again, this is the feature which is the extension of JavaScript language based on ES6. And it is translated into regular JavaScript at runtime. And this is the most important thing. Whatever JSX syntax you will write at runtime, it will be converted into regular or vanilla JavaScript. Okay. Now let us understand expression in JSX. So with JSX, you can write expressions inside curly braces. Now what it says, let us take this example directly. See, if you want, you can write any expression. You can write any such expression in JSX within two curly braces. Within two curly braces. So if you write something like this in JSX, that h1 react is 5 plus 5 times, so automatically it will be evaluated. This expression, whatever expression you put here, that will be evaluated at runtime, and the final value you will see in the final output. Okay, and this is not the only thing that I'm talking about as an expression. Can be any variable name. It can be any JavaScript variable. It can be any JavaScript object. Okay, so the expression can be a React variable or property or any other valid JavaScript expression. Valid JavaScript expression. JSX will execute the expression and return the result. That is what we have shown. This expression will be evaluated at runtime and you can see the output. Now, if you want to insert some large block of HTML, so this is one example. So basically it is talking about this parenthesis. When you have a large block, see in other case like this, we haven't used that parenthesis. Can you see that? We haven't used that wrapper parenthesis. But here, when you have large block of HTML and that you want to put it across the lines, make sure that you wrap that HTML code inside this parenthesis. So that is important. And otherwise it works as HTML, that is unordered list, where you have 3 items and these are the bullets, right? Now there is the requirement of one top level element. Okay, the HTML code must be wrapped in one top level element like this. If you have multiple H1, let's say, if you have multiple H1 or any other number of elements you have, make sure that those elements that you create, HTML element that you create in JSX, they all are put under one root element or one top level element, like this division. Okay. If you remove this division and just put one H1 and second H1, it won't work. It won't work. It requires only one element. Okay. It requires only one. And within that, you can put any number of elements, whatever hierarchy you want to create, you can create that. That is important. Only single top level element. So JSX will throw an error if the HTML is not correct, or if the HTML misses a parent element. If it misses parent element, then JSX will throw error. Can you run without division? See, this is not editable actually. This is not editable. Otherwise, I would have shown it. Okay. But don't worry, we will see all this code when we will write this code in VS Code in the next lecture. I'll set up that here, and then we will use VS Code, and then I'll show you some different codes there in using that VS Code. Okay. So don't worry. Today we are just getting some, we are getting familiar to this React. Coding we will do. We have sufficient time and we will do enough coding. And one more thing, when you use JSX, elements must be closed. Though it is HTML element, make sure that you write it properly. Otherwise, what happens in normal HTML, even if you forget to, let's say, write this closing H1, and that was one question in your exam also. I put one H1 starting tag and I put some H2 closing tag, but it is working. There is no error. By default, browser understands that, and it is not going to create any error, right? That is not going to generate. But when you use HTML code within JSX as or part of JSX, then it must be a properly written code. Properly matching opening and closing tags. Everything is required. Like input, you cannot simply leave it afterwards. You just need to close it like this. So that is compulsory. When you use JSX, when you use HTML code within JSX, make sure that it is properly written. Okay. Okay. And one last part that let us understand very quickly. I hope you remember that even if you write HTML code, by default in HTML, the attribute name is class. If you really want to attach some class, if you want to use some class for particular HTML element, there is the attribute called class. But this is class name. Okay. In JSX, when you want to use class attribute, it is not class, it is class name, because class has a special meaning in JSX. Okay, so that is one thing that you need to remember. This is something very different. And conditions like if statement, if you want to use, okay, then you need to use first pure JavaScript. Either you use first, pure JavaScript if else, or you can use ternary operator. Otherwise, if you want to put it directly in JSX, there is no if. You cannot directly use if statement in JSX. Otherwise, either you use JSX, you use vanilla JavaScript and then put if else wherever possible. Okay. Or you can do something like this. You can use ternary operator also. Like H1, you can see this is expression now. This is expression that we are putting inside this curly braces. So this expression will be evaluated at runtime. How it will be evaluated? It will check what is the value of X if it is less than 50. If X is less than 50, less than 10, then hello will be the output. Otherwise, goodbye will be the output. So what will be the output here? What will be the output? Hello, simple. So remember, conditional statements cannot be directly used within JSX. For that, you need to first write some pure JavaScript code, and you need to set it accordingly. Or you can use ternary operator at max. At max, you can use ternary operator. So this is a brief introduction to React and JSX. We will continue in the next lecture, and in next lecture we will do some coding also. Okay. Any question? Okay. Whenever we need to, not exactly, but of course, you cannot directly write the full JavaScript code inside this. It is just JavaScript expression. Like you want to put some variable there, you can do it. If you want to put some JavaScript object, then you can do it. So with some examples, we'll see that. Urjit, yes, actually I was unwell in last week, and before that you had exam. So I could not focus on that part. But very soon, mostly tomorrow, I'll send you one Google Meet request. I mean, link I will send it to all those students who are interested to do projects. So mostly tomorrow we will be having one session. Okay, we'll be having meeting, Google meeting, and we'll decide something there. Shani, so JSX is nothing but writing HTML using React. In a way you can say that, but it is more than that. Okay, any more questions?
Hello, sir. Hello.
Fine. So let us end this session here. Okay, and we'll continue in the next lecture.